Welcome back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And today we're here to talk about the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. We finally got it. Feels like we're only 3 months away, but we finally got it. And it hit this morning, and we're here to talk about it. Let's see. So we get a Peter Parker in his college days. Supposedly, it starts off with them going to MIT, and at some point in the trailer, it does jump ahead. Because I guess the official synopsis, from what I've heard, says that it takes place 4 years after the events of No Way Home. So it does seem that there will be a time jump. And I guess the big thing is knowing when that happens in the trailer is the scenes where he doesn't have the web shooters is when it's been 4 years. And then prior to that, anything with him having the web shooters is that like almost immediately after No Way Home. So I thought that was pretty cool. The suit looks great. We immediately get a shot of him in New York with that iconic upside down look, inverted look. He climbs on top of that crane or scaffolding, and he's of course seeing his friends having the time of their lives, saying that they're the happiest that they've ever been, and he's just there like, damn, that sucks. And that's the kind of Peter Parker that we need right now, because we definitely were lacking that in the prior trilogy.
I mean, the last one was, Peter was down bad in that one, I would say, a good amount.
Do we think we get a friend cuck POV shot?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already have in the trailer.
Yeah, with him at the housewarming party from the looks of it.
Yeah, so that's what, obviously, like you said, it'll be interesting to see because this trailer definitely gives us a very big hint that he is evolving into more organic webs. There's a weird scene where he's like cocooned, essentially. So I think that'll be interesting to see what exactly his organic webs will look like and how they'll act. But yeah, this trailer gave us a lot of side characters, never really fully given us like a clear vision of who the big bad is. But I mean, we saw a lot of side characters. Most notably, though, I will say we saw Bruce Banner. We did not see the Hulk. We better see a Hulk. That's all I'll say. Legit Hulk.
I mean, we are going to see Hulk. I think it's a pretty known thing that we are going to see Hulk.
Can I
It's
say
like
something
the
crazy?
big thing.
Go ahead.
I think I'm okay if we just get like 5 minutes of Bruce Banner. That's it, and just no Hulk.
I don't think it was ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous to say that.
I'm just saying that that was the vibes I was getting. That they're just gonna just use Bruce to introduce his changes that he's going, and that is it. I was getting kind of just from the trailers, just a little vibes of he's gonna be nothing because all the trucks and like armored vehicles we were thinking originally this was gonna happen because of Hulk, and we were worried that this was gonna be a Hulk movie. But from that shot, it felt like
trilogy.
it was Punisher was in these armored vehicles. It was everything else that was happening, that he was battling all fucking New York, and no Hulk. Did not seem like there was any vibes of Hulk destruction. Just Bruce Banner being a professor or a doctor.
Which, like you said, I would not be upset with. I wouldn't be upset if we just get him fighting with this evolution change happening and he just goes to Professor Banner, Dr. Banner, ask him a couple questions. Just that little interaction we get in the classroom is like the majority of his scenes in the movie. And that's it. I wouldn't be overly upset with that just because from this trailer, we got a lot of things going on with bad people or big bad. We don't know the big bad, but we got a lot of side villains that I don't need a Hulk chunk of the movie fighting and going savage. I think we can do plenty of stuff with Peter Parker and what's going on in his world and Spider-Man's world that I wouldn't be upset with that at all.
I mean, yeah, I guess we can just start naming the characters that we see in the trailer. We see Tarantula in like one of the montages. We got Boomerang. We got Scorpion. Finally, we got Scorpion. Shoot. What else do we see? That's like the... Oh, and I guess we also see like the back of what we think is Sadie Sink's character. We still don't quite know who she's playing. She doesn't even
as well as
talk
her
into
like
it.
tied up or locked up in a chair.
Yeah,
split second
and
as
I mean, what I'm saying is she's most likely going to play Jean Grey. I mean, she looks like she controls minds. That's what that whole tank thing looks like to be. Because once he finally like opens up the tank, there's this old woman in there who seems like she doesn't even know what the hell was going on. Immediately after, you see like the actual jumping up from body to body, controlling them. So that's what my guess is, just based off of the trailer itself. Of course, we could
also don't forget what I thought was the most out of nowhere one was the hand.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was the biggest. Like everything was chill, and then once we saw them, I was like, okay, that's very very interesting villain to choose in this. Especially because that was towards the end of it. That's when he had his different suit, his more iconic-ish one, I would say, compared to like the one that he makes. And he has, it looks like, the organic webs at that point. So that's towards the end of the movie, which I don't. The whole Marvel time, I have no idea. Once we jump that 4 years, where are
I'm
we
losing
at
it
the
with
present
the time
day?
too.
I don't know where we are. Also, we see he's in New York and he gets the key to New York, and it's not Fisk, and we got the hand involved. So, like, is there going to be something like Daredevil Born Again? Is that going to end with Fisk being taken down, and now we have somebody new in charge? And also, the hand, obviously, the last we've seen them was in Daredevil on Netflix. If they don't show up in Born Again season 2, I feel like that's going to be very weird that we're going to have a Daredevil villain who we've seen before not be in his entire season that ends like what it ends what a month or two before Spider-Man comes out, and then Spider-Man's going to be fighting the hand in New York City. Like I thought that was, to me, that was the biggest. When I saw that, I was like, what is this? Is okay.
Yeah, no, it was definitely wild, but I mean, in terms of like the big crime organizations, the hand, I mean, they're New York based, so I feel like, and he has fought them before. It's not like it's out of left field. It's out of left field because we just were like, okay, like in terms of the continuity in the MCU, it's not like a, you know, they haven't been established yet per se. But I didn't realize this at first, but the mayor that's supposedly handing like the key to the city to Spider-Man, that's that actress is in Born Again, but she's the advisor to Fisk. So everyone's saying, "Oh, is this like a kind of a spoiler for season 2?" Because, I mean, from what we were told, and everyone's assuming, is that because Fisk won in season 1, and obviously the way that they're advertising season 2 of Born Again, it seems that by the end of it, Fisk won't be mayor, and obviously it seems that this movie takes place after the events of season 2 of Born Again. So they're pretty much saying, oh, yeah, for sure, Fisk is not going to be the mayor. And on top of that, his advisor is actually going to become the mayor. So she is now like the mayor of New York currently.
Unless it's going to be something lame where that's just going to be a part of like maybe a montage like early on to catch us up. Like, here's what I've been up to, blah, blah. And it's just like a montage. And like that scene happens and there's just like a quick mention saying like, the mayor was busy this day or something like that. Like, I guess they could do something like that, but
I guess they can. But at the same time, like, why would you hand the key to the city to a vigilante when the administration, the Fisk administration,
that's true. Yeah, that is true.
So against that. So I feel like it has to be after what Daredevil and company does to Fisk and removes him from office. That's the only logical thing for me. But yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, that is right. I was just looking to see if I could find a snippet of it. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I forgot her name.
That is her.
Her. She's the one that betrays the commissioner.
Yeah,
and then he gets his head crushed in.
Yeah, that'll be interesting then, because like you said, that definitely kind of gives us a feel of Daredevil Born Again season 2.
There's a lot in this trailer, man.
Yeah, this trailer there's a lot going on. It got me very excited for it, honestly. Like, some of this stuff looks sick. Like I said, the hand was the main thing that kind of threw me off. I was just a little bit like, I feel like we had enough Spider-Man villains going on, like the hand, and like they had him in prison, it looked like in the first part when he meets them, and he's unmasked. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how that goes, because obviously nobody knows who he is anymore. So I'm like, his first movie since then, he's unmasked in a prison. Like, obviously, maybe just the people, the Hand, see him. Who knows? But yeah, the Hand to me was the big one that I was hyped for everything. And I saw that and I was like, okay, now I'm a little, well, what's going on here?
Personally, I don't mind just because you have Destin Daniel Cretton directing. I feel like that's like his forte. So when you include something like the Hand, a ninja organization that he has to fight, I feel like that's gonna be some dope ass scenes.
Oh no, I think those will be dope, but I just think there's a lot to unpack in just this first trailer, and we're not even, we've hardly touched on the Sadie Sink of it all. Like we said, we think
True.
she might be Jean Grey. That's going to be huge. This trailer mentions mutations. That's obviously a big deal.
Punisher is in there too.
We haven't talked about the DODC. Seem like they're a relatively big part of this. We saw what's his name, something Tillman. We saw him for a split second. Tombstone's been announced that he's going to be a villain,
and he wasn't in the trailer.
In this,
he wasn't.
So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we already had like a semi-Sinister Six thing going. We know Sony's been trying to do that forever, and it's never worked. We semi had a Sinister Six lineup going on top of Sadie Sink, mutations, the DODC, and then you throw in the Hand too. I'm like, okay. Because if that was in the beginning, like, I would be like, okay, before he gets the organic web, like, that's just part of like a montage him fighting them.
I'm going to say it is
towards the end. He has his organic stuff though.
Oh no, sorry,
I'm fighting the Hand.
The Hand. Yes, I meant like when he's fighting Tarantula and Boomerang, especially. I think those are just going to be like characters that are going to be shown in that montage prior to the time skip. So I feel like we can immediately remove those two, and I feel like the main villains are going to be Tremel Tillman's character for the DODC, and that's going to involve Sadie Sink's character's plotline. And then I guess as more of a minor secondary role, it's going to be Scorpion and Tombstone. And I feel like Tombstone is going to be the one in charge of the Hand on behalf of Fisk.
You think he's working for Fisk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he usually
it'll be interesting.
Usually,
I think the other thing to mention is the Ned and MJ section of this trailer. Obviously, we had him going to a party and seeing them at a party, and then we had the line that kind of got me at the end where, he brought flowers to her and she's like, "Oh, I'm just a neighbor," and she's like, "Friendly neighbor." I thought that was, pretty funny, but I was a little confused by that because are they saying that he is now neighbors with MJ?
So that's where the time skip comes in, is that at the beginning they are going to MIT, and then by that point in the trailer they've had already gone to college, they've graduated, and from the looks of it she moved in across the hall from him.
Okay, so yeah. That would, I was going to say that'd have to be when they're not in school anymore, because New York MIT, that's not so. And then I don't know if you guys noticed in the background there's like a whole bulletin board of like Spider-Man in what looks to be MJ's apartment. Do you guys think Ned and MJ at any point in this first, assuming we're getting a whole nother trilogy, do you think at some point they're gonna learn of Peter Parker and Spider-Man?
Probably.
You think that
probably
quick?
Probably towards the end. I mean, there's a shot in the trailer where you see MJ and Spider-Man talking to each other. So I'm like, that's probably like the heart-to-heart moment. And I don't expect it to be early on in the movie. I expect it to probably be towards the end of it, if anything. But yeah, I mean, personally, listen, I like those two characters, but because of the way that No Way Home ended, I wouldn't have minded if we didn't even include them in this movie at all, personally. And if you want to incorporate them later on down the trilogy, maybe in 2 or towards the end of 2, fine. But I would have been fine with just sticking with just Peter on his own, depressed as fuck, and he's just trying to manage life as best he can, but ultimately he falls into just being Spider-Man 90% of the time, and he forgets about the Peter Parker part. That's what I would have wanted. But again, when you have Zendaya and Jacob Batalon in those roles, I get it. you probably would want to use him.
Let's not put Jacob in Zendaya category. Let's relax on that. All right, well, Jacob got this, and that's about it. Zendaya has, two of the biggest movies, arguably, of the entire year. So,
yeah.
No disrespect to Jacob. You're just not in her atmosphere at all.
Hulk hasn't been Hulk in a long time. So, yeah, if he only stays Bruce, I don't mind that. But I would, the one that I don't want to see is Professor Hulk again. I want to see Savage Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
If they are doing it. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. Because everyone's been like, oh, you have Bruce in the movie. You have Punisher. And there's rumors that supposedly Spider-Man and Punisher team up to take down Savage Hulk because of some incident happens where they need to take him down. Or at least seduce him enough to bring Bruce back.
There's 100% a secret villain in this trailer that is either being edited out or something. Something's getting edited out.
I did wonder when he jumps and fights the Hand, not in the prison, but towards the end shot, it does look very reminiscent of the No Way Home trailer where we got him jumping at the people you're fighting. They took out the Spider-Man. There's just a whole lot of space for someone else to be fighting with him.
Yeah, I think there has to be. There's some secret.
I mean, I think Daredevil could be a very
getting taken out.
Hulk. I think Daredevil could be very possible during that Hand fight scene, just because obviously we've already seen Matt Murdock and Peter. Obviously, this was before the spell, but we've seen those two interact. The Hand, we're in New York City. We've got the connection of now we know that a character from Daredevil Born Again, that mayor is now the mayor of New York for him.
Sheila. It came to me. Yeah, Sheila.
For sure. Shout out Sheila. We've seen her jump. I think Daredevil could be a very real. Punisher obviously has connections to Matt Murdock. I think that could be a very real cameo to help him.
And I wouldn't mind at all. Just keep it straight. Just keep it straight.
How do you feel if they say that Spider-Man is a mutant? Because from the trailer, there's a chance that they could basically say that the spider bite basically gave him enhanced abilities, but it's his inner mutant genes that are changing that evolves him into Spider-Man at the end.
I would be a little annoyed. I see what you mean. I think they're definitely, from this trailer, it's possible that happens. Obviously, we talking about mutations happening, and we're seeing him going through a change. But I'm hoping that is completely separate, and maybe the whole mutation thing is talking about Jean Grey. More of that mutation part, and his process is something else. But I personally would be a little not happy if Spider-Man's a mutant.
And he's not a mutant. I mean, not in the traditional sense. Yes, he has he mutates, but it's not. He doesn't have a mutation because he doesn't get.
Talking about mutations.
And they're going pretty extreme with the change, too. I mean, this is the first time on screen we ever seen a Spider-Man not just pick a lane. Now he's done both sides when it comes to the webs, and he's evolving, even going to his little cocoon there.
Listen.
He has a scene where his eyes went all black.
Which could be hinting at a man spider kind of thing, which we have not even thought could be possible in live action, and that'd be kind of wild to see.
We don't need it.
Hey, listen.
Leave that for the bullshit Nick Cage Spider-Man thing that's happening.
Huh?
What's up?
No, nothing.
Nick just struck him down.
Wouldn't be surprised me.
Oh, bad.
What was I saying? Oh, Man Spider, yeah. Listen, I saw the Spider-Man animated show growing up, so I definitely have memories of that Man Spider episode and appearances.
Yes,
so I would not mind seeing that at least briefly, because I don't think that's what they're gonna do as the main climax of it. I think eventually he will be, but then he'll revert back to just organic form or whatever. To me, just based off the trailer, I feel like the main villain is going to be the head of the DODC, which is Tremel Tillman's character. I mean, you don't get an actor like him who's been rising, especially through Severance, plays kind of a villain-esque role. You clearly see like the seeds of the beginning of mutants and stuff, and we saw it in Wonder Man for sure. They want to put these enhanced individuals behind bars, put restrictions on them, and you have potentially Jean Grey in there, and they're hunting. Obviously, I think they have her already captive, and she's doing everything in her power to break out. And I believe at one point she does. So then Spider-Man has to team up with her eventually. He's going to be the head, and I'm sure he's going to do some shady shit, side with either Tombstone or the Hand. And I think Scorpion, I feel like he's not going to be that big of a villain. I feel like he's going to be the equivalent of like the Lizard from No Way Home. You know, he was there, but he wasn't really like there. He might be in the end battle, and that's about it. Whereas I see the other ones more of like the Green Goblin, you know, Electro kind of route, where they're more on they have more screen time, and they're the more prominent villains to me. So yeah, I don't think it feels overcrowded just because the trailer was, one, we were wanting it for so fucking long, and we're 4 months away, just a little over 4 months away. We finally got it, and we got like what seems like a lot, especially in those like montage sequences with all these other characters. We didn't even fucking mention the fact that in those like reveals, he's doing like the frames from like the comic books and all that. That was pretty cool. You could definitely tell that Destin Daniel Cretton cares about the character, and he's doing like these little fan service things. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I got so much confidence in him that the fight scenes will be fire. Shang-Chi has the best fight scenes in the MCU, so any fight scene Spider-Man has, it's going to be dope.
Overall, I felt good. That's the best thing I could say. I think maybe for why I felt like it was going to be why it felt crowded was because I was really expecting a main bad. And I think when we previously talked about what we were thinking could possibly happen before the leaks of the sets, was like possibly a Mr. Negative, someone like of that caliber, of where it's a New York villain that we haven't seen in the other Spider-Man, but could be a big bad. Obviously, we did not get that, but it looked good. I think this is still going to be a good movie no matter what. I feel confident.
Oh yeah, this got me extremely hyped for this movie. This shot this movie up for what I'm excited for sure.
It's in July. Like I said, it's only 4.5 months away. Like it's like towards the end, isn't it? July 31st.
It is the last day, yeah, the 31st.
Yeah. Okay, but still, it's not that far away, which is, I guess, the good thing and bad thing about the trailer coming out this late. Is
I respect it.
Yeah. At least we don't have to wait too long.
Facts. Doomsday are gonna hold on until like October.
That's crazy. The day before we get due, and they don't come out for the end of the year. December.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, you know, Sony's on top of things. We trust them. I didn't see Morbius, which upset me, but I have faith still. I think that's going to do it for this review. As always, let us know in the comments below what your thoughts were on the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. As always, like the video, subscribe channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.